Hi everybody, you're listening to the Hisessions Hawaii podcast where we talk about everything local and beyond. I'm John Yamasato, your host, and joining me today is Mr. Kyle Shimabukuro, Devon Nekoba. Before we begin, let me remind our listeners of all the ways they can stay in touch with the channel. There's Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all at Hisessions. You can go to SoundCloud, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts to listen to the podcast. Finally, you can email us at hisessions@yahoo.com. If you'd like to help the show, get more music on the channel, you can go to patreon.com. Donate, you'll get more involved with the show and who's filmed, and you'll know who's filmed. You can come down to the filmings. There's all these benefits of becoming a patron. No new patrons this week. And we like to thank Kupu Kupu Landscaping, though. Landscape Architects. Call Kevin Yokomura, 808-722-8685 for a free estimate. Kevin helped me out on a house that had a leaking sprinkler. So thank you, Kevin. KupuKupuLandscaping.com as well. Thank you to Fort Ruger Market. Went with the classic plate A today.
Me too.
Nothing
All three of us, actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
Because you guys cannot eat fish.
Because we still can't eat fish. Oh, we can talk about that maybe, but I want to get my blood test. And I am off fish as well, but not.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. Alrighty. You can find Devon, Kumu 94.7. You can find Kyle at highlifeclothing.com. And at this time, we'd like to introduce our wonderful guest, Mr. Rick Agan, owner, operator of Tako iPhoto, and various many other things as I've been made to become aware of.
Yeah. Because John's much younger than we are.
Yeah, so I only know you as
so he missed that whole section. Yeah.
Yeah, I only know you as the photographer guy. So I don't know if we want to start.
Let's say how Devon knows him as something else then.
What you mean?
So he knows him as the photographer.
Well, we'll start from the beginning. Yeah. You're a local boy, right?
Technically, yes.
Technically, yes.
I'm actually a Katonk.
Oh,
really?
You know, people don't know that. I'm a Katonk.
I was born deep in the heart of Texas, San Antonio.
No way.
So my dad was in the Air Force. So I was born at Lackland Air Force Base, which no longer exists. It's a joint.
Oh, Joint Air Force.
It's a joint base, but it's named something else now. So I was born there. When I was 3 months old enough to travel, my dad was deployed to a base in the Netherlands.
Oh, wow.
So I lived there, I think, for the next 4 years. I went to school in the Netherlands, like the local elementary school.
Oh.
Because they didn't want to drive me all the way to the base, so we just went to the neighborhood school. So I spoke fluent Dutch.
Wow.
That's
the only Filipino guy in that entire school?
Maybe in the entire country.
I was going to say.
My guess. I guess English is my second language. No, I doubt that. But I just discovered that because after my grandmother passed away and we went through her stuff, we found some old cassette tapes that we had sent her. And I was singing in Dutch.
What?
Yeah, it was just.
Do you still remember any of it?
Nothing.
Wow.
Nothing.
You sure that was you?
I'm positive. It sounded. Yeah, it was just.
Wait, so your parents are both Filipino?
No, mom is Japanese, dad's Filipino. So after he retired, got out, they're originally from Hilo, both of them. Okay. So we moved back.
Okay, I got it.
And went to Hilo Union, Waikiki High School, class of, let's just say in the last century.
What? Don't hit the table.
Don't hit the table.
Everybody does it.
Waikiki High School, University of Hawaii.
Waikiki, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good school.
It's all right.
Right, it localizes you really fast.
Yeah.
Hilo might have been faster.
Yeah.
Hilo High might have been faster.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, okay. So you come over for college then?
Yes.
To Oahu, and then you meet up with Devon there?
No, actually, we met up because he was working at KITV in sports.
Oh.
Yeah, and he was Rick Agan, KITV 4 News.
Rick's Picks.
It's right. Rick's Picks.
I put a highlight reel together every week. No, so I actually got to that because when I was at the University of Hawaii, I was Terry Vesperis before Terry Vesperis was Terry Vesperis.
Oh.
So I worked in the UH Sports Marketing Department, and I don't know, they were just like, hey, we need a PA announcer for women's volleyball. No, women's volleyball, women's basketball, and men's volleyball, which was all at Clum Gym.
This was when you were a student.
When I was a student.
Wow, what an opportunity to get as a student.
I know, but it was Clum Gym, sweaty. There wasn't any fans. I mean,
yeah.
So I was doing that for a little bit, and then that gravel parking lot behind the athletic department, they turned into the special event center. So they started building that, and then I don't know. They were like, "Hey, there was going to be opening night." And they're like, "Hey, we need somebody to do the on-court promotion." You know, I don't know. It was the Bank of Hawaii $50,000 half-court shot or whatever.
Got it.
Like, hey, we need somebody to do it. I mean, you do PA you can do this. Okay, fine. So like standing there in the tunnel. UH men's basketball versus North Carolina opening night.
Oh, jeez.
10,000 people. But I went out there and I did that actually for a couple of years.
Did anybody win the prize?
Nobody ever did.
No.
But we also, we used to have games like, you know, blindfold and find the volleyball.
Yeah.
You know, somebody's getting close, I'd steer them away. And, you know, I just actually had a lot of fun. And then some years after that, like I already graduated, but I was still doing it. And then I was walking off the court, and then one of the aunties that was sitting there was like, "Hey, brother, you good? You should do TV." I'm like, "What? No." But I don't know. That just kind of stuck in my head. And then Sean Ching, I don't know if you guys remember, at a certain point in his career, he was actually the Rainbow Stadium manager.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Did we have Sean Ching on the podcast?
For a year or two. So he was, you know, so I got to know him while he was there. And so I was like, you know what? Because I was actually planning to go to physical therapy school.
Yeah.
But all the schools were on the mainland. So I was like,
Wait, so what was your current major at the time when you were doing all that stuff?
It was liberal studies.
Oh, that's awesome.
Pre-physical therapy.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So liberal studies was I don't know if they still even have it at UH, but it was a program
That's when you don't know what you do, right? You just take liberal studies.
Exactly. So it was literally design your own major.
Yeah.
So I wrote to a bunch of different physical therapy schools, found out what the prerequisites were, and went to my advisor and said, "Hey, this is what they're requiring. Out of these 4 schools, these are the most, you know, birds with one stone." And so he's like, "Okay, that's your major." So that was pretty much it. But I had that gap year going, you know, before I even started applying. So I was like, I called up Sean. "Hey, you know, can I come intern 1 day a week?" Then 1 day a week turned into 2 days a week. Then 3, then 4. Then I'm there all the time. Hardashevsky still calls me Monkey Boy.
You're kidding me.
Because I was the monkey that would go get dinner.
Oh, wow.
So, you know, then KTV started a morning show. Tiny Tadani at the time went to the morning show. And they're like, "Hey, put together a tape." So I put together a tape. I think it was like on a Wednesday. Wally Zimmerman. You remember that name? Mm-hmm. I think he's passed. But calls me into his office and he's like, "This is a Wednesday now, mind you. You have a suit?" "No. Why?" "You're on Saturday."
Oh.
"On TV?" He's like, "Yeah, Saturday." I'm like,
Okay.
yeah. So they ended up doing that for a couple years. And then Robert K. Kala, rest his soul, was let go from KHNL. KTV hired him back. So just as ceremoniously as I got the job, I was
Is there
out the door.
Now, were you always a big sports guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Played football, baseball in high school. I tried walking out UH, redshirted a year, but then the injuries caught up. Knee,
For football.
Baseball.
Baseball.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not the size I was back in the day.
Should I go walk on now?
Man. Yeah, so that was a good time, that 2 years.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
I don't know why, but it feels like you were there for much longer. That's
It was
interesting.
2 years and out, and
Wow.
I remember Jim Leahy told me something. He's like, "Never trust management." I was like, okay. But, you know, I thought about it like, I don't know how everybody, at least in TV land, at least during that era, could really go through it. Because at most, you're on a 1 year, 2 year contract.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right? Joe Moore, 3, 4, 5. But everybody else, 1, 2 year contracts. They go through sweeps. Oh, rating's not there. Change.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
It's,
Well, nowadays it's even worse because I think they just get them out of college and go, okay, go, you're on there. Oh, and by the way, you have to shoot everything yourself and cut the whole thing yourself and put the whole thing together.
Yeah.
So here you go. And I was like, holy
you have to do
shit.
that too.
No.
I didn't have to shoot. We had our camera guys there, but I remember editing everything, writing everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there like 16 hours a day.
Jeez.
Show up at 10, don't leave till midnight. I mean,
Yeah, you think it's just getting on the camera and being like reading something, right? But there's a
No.
lot that goes because
you got to write the script. You have to time the script to the highlights, and it's much different now because back in the day we had to get satellite feeds.
Oh,
Like there are associate producers that would literally come in and hit record because the satellite feed of the national highlights or whatever it is, that's coming down at 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock. That's it. So if they never recorded it,
Oh, man.
you don't have highlights.
Wow.
So aside from whatever you shot locally,
Did that ever happen where you didn't have the highlights? I can just see you sitting there going, okay, imagine this. Just picture it in your mind.
Yeah, well, was there any nightmare stories just being live and something not happening correctly and you got to ad lib?
oh man, yeah, like the teleprompter going down.
Oh my God, yeah. Okay.
Like there is no way to practice for that. You just got to roll. Like in the back of your mind, you're always thinking, yeah. And so, everybody at the time they had their scripts in front of them. If teleprompter goes black, and you can tell this, like if you watch guys enough, you watch enough news, they're gonna be reading, talking to you, and then all of a sudden,
oh, they go to the yeah. At least there's something backed up though, right? They can go to the stuff on the
but
paper.
the problem is if you don't turn your scripts over in the right sequence, when you look down, it's something completely different than what was on that screen. So you really have to kind of know your order of stories,
So that's the reason why you have a script below you, just in case. That
just
happens.
in case, because you never know. Once that thing goes down, it
Do you guys
it's-
remember that Saturday Night Live with Will Ferrell and I think it's like Sherry O'Terry, and they're newscasters, and then the teleprompter goes down and they start panicking, and like at the end they're like killing each other and
I
stuff.
wouldn't doubt it. But I
It's
tell
so
you,
good.
the most impressive thing I ever saw, and shout out to Howard Jaszewski, but I was in the newsroom and he's doing his thing, and in the newsroom they have the TVs, but they also have the teleprompter feed.
Yeah, okay.
He was ad-libbing as he went.
Huh?
Like I'm reading what's on and what he's saying is essentially the same thing, but he's changing around live.
Wow.
Like that was the most impressive thing, because for most of the main anchors, they have associate producers that will write everything for them, and then before the newscast they'll go and read through it, and then change words, or I don't like this word, I'm gonna change this, but essentially keep the meat of what you're trying to say in the story. Dash was doing that live.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Like he didn't rewrite anything; he just rewrote it live
On the fly, yeah.
on the fly, and I'm just like, wow, that's a skill.
Oh yeah.
So.
So you went from that to I see you and you're doing medical sales, and I went, huh?
Yeah, so
Was he like a pharmaceutical rep?
correct.
Yeah.
So my mom was a longtime nurse. Shout out to mom, because she's probably going to watch this.
Nice.
That's my boy.
So she was a longtime nurse in a physician's office in here. So I essentially grew up in that office.
That's how you met my sister-in-law, Dr. Sue.
Well, I knew her from high school because we were in 4-H.
Oh really?
Yeah,
4-H.
Oh, wow.
4-H.
4-H. For
Well,
some reason,
4-H in Hilos was a little bit different.
Yeah, 4-H. It was more like Girl Scouts right back then.
No, well,
that
I
was
think
cows
traditionally,
and
traditionally
goats
4-H was
and,
very agricultural based.
Yeah.
Oh.
But
yeah,
for what we did,
going to the farm and
Oh. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
but for what we did, it was more service oriented.
Oh, cool.
So just to be involved in, pump up the
I can see
college
Dr. Sue
resume
doing that.
action.
What? Digging in the dirt?
No, being service oriented.
Oh yeah.
who? Kyle?
No,
Oh,
Dr. Sue.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah. So
Sorry, I missed that part in the conversation what you're talking about.
So, mom was a longtime nurse, and she's like, you know, when I let go from KITV, I was like, I wouldn't say I was confused, but I was like, well, should I continue in this industry? But it doesn't seem very stable. And my mom was like, or should I go back to physical therapy? Because that was my original intent. But my mom was like, hey, why don't you be a pharmaceutical rep? And I was like, well, all those guys do is bring pens and food. I can do that. So I applied, and I eventually got in with Pfizer.
But it's not easy to get in.
It is not easy to get in, and training is no joke either.
Yeah.
Like, they will hammer you. Like, my training there was, you know, we'd have class all day covering anatomy, physiology, biology, the drugs that we were selling, the competitors to that product, and the next morning we got a test. 80% or lower, you're out.
Wow.
And I saw guys get sent home,
Yeah.
and it was just like,
So is your skill that got you hired fantastic memory and studying capability, or it was it a sales knack that you had? What do you think got you that position?
I don't think it's necessary sales. I don't know. You know, I just kind of played with the fact, hey, I was on TV. Everybody will recognize me. So I have an easy time getting into the offices, which to some extent,
it does help.
So I walked in, and they're like, aren't you on TV? I'm like, not anymore.
That's how John sells a ton of houses. You just gotta go there and
start playing.
No, it wasn't.
they recognize you. You know,
It was a barrier to get over, though. You know.
Yeah.
Because
How can
people
I get over? Sorry.
No, people are like, you selling houses now? I thought you play music. You know, like, you don't know anything about real estate.
Oh, it worked against you sometimes.
So a little bit of that.
Yeah. I got some of that too, because it was, you know, they want to talk more about TV than
And sports. They probably want to talk sports with you.
But finding common ground initially with a client,
Yeah,
really
that
helps. You know.
Yeah, I mean the sales, you know, the companies that I've worked for, I mean, very high level corporate, you know, sales, you know, features to benefits, close, the whole 9 yards. But I think in Hawaii, it's a little bit different. It's very relationship based. Got to be able to talk story, but you got to be able to change. You got to wear multiple hats.
Yeah.
Because you know, the girls and the guys sitting in the front, you know, hey sister, how's it? You know, there's doctor a second or two, talk story.
Yeah.
But then you get in the back, and doctor is Harvard educated, clinical, wants to know your studies, what evidence do you have?
Not funny, not fun.
Yeah, but you know, there's the whole gamut of, you know, physicians and how they interact. I mean, some of the sales training I remember, like this thing called DISC, and it was how every client and customer that you deal with has a certain personality type and how they receive information. So, so for example, like orthopedic surgeons, they're drivers. Now, I need the bottom line. What is it?
Yeah.
John, what you got? What you got? Come on, hurry up. How much is the house? How big? Where's it at? Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
They gotta go. Then you have your intellects. John, what is the
Square footage. And
what is the square footage? Has it been renovated? What year? What is the roofing made out of? How's the electrical? You know, they want all the details.
Yeah.
Then you have the socials. Hey, Devon, how's it? So how's the golf game, bro? And then you can get sidetracked into that, talking story about golf, and it's like, you know.
So you gotta you gotta wear multiple hats.
Yeah, I think.
Basically,
I think.
Sorry,
yeah.
what is K? I gotta know.
I'm sorry.
What is K? I have to know K.
K.
Yeah, you got DIS or C?
Oh, C. I think it was drivers, intellects, sociables, and I don't know what the fourth one was.
It's a bad word that you can't say.
No. It's like you could put them into 4 quadrants.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What would be K?
So it's amiable. I think it's sociable.
I think it's C.
C, yeah.
I think it's C, not K.
Yeah, that was an older selling system, but you know that really opened my eyes because not everybody receives information the same way.
Right.
Like everybody you interact with, I mean, you got to, and you know, after time, like you call these guys enough, you kind of understand their personalities, and you got to know, okay, bottom line, thanks, you're out.
But a box of Manapuas or Manasadas always brings the door to an equal playing
That
ground, too.
used to be the case,
Yeah.
but they implemented a lot of rules in pharmaceuticals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they shut all that stuff
That
down.
used to be so in real estate, the escrow companies and the lenders.
They could do all kinds of
They
stuff.
could do all of that stuff,
Yeah.
back in the day. And there's this guy, we'll call him Melvin. I was like, Melvin, you have the best job, because he was the sales rep for the escrow companies.
Okay.
Every time you see Melvin, it's like, oh, we're gonna get free stuff.
Yeah.
So everyone's like super nice to him, like he was everybody's good friend because he
Yeah.
just gave away free stuff,
Yeah.
And then now they can't do it anymore because
Yeah.
there's a RICO or one
Is
of
that
those.
what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pass that rule with. I
Yeah.
guess not only pharmaceutical, but realtors too have that same thing.
There's
they
still
pass,
some
right?
industries that stuff goes on.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just how it is. I think more so with medicine, because they are getting reimbursed federally, Medicare,
Oh.
Medicaid,
Oh,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
don't want to have the appearance of
Favoritism or
favoritism, quid pro quo,
Yeah.
tit for tat. You buy me a lunch, I'm gonna write your drug.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
there was just a lot of
the
that
doctor's
stuff.
like, damn, that was a good racket.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay, it's dominance, influence, steadiness, and conscientiousness.
Conscientiousness.
Interesting.
Yeah. What?
I don't remember
is
that, but yeah,
Oh,
I just
so
thought it was
it's-
driver intellect.
Well,
Sociable.
yeah, kind of that.
Yeah. So yeah,
It was conscientious is like, hey, like those companies that go like, for every shoe you buy, we give one shoe to underprivileged whatever,
Oh,
right?
yeah,
The
yeah,
conscientious kind of maybe
Maybe.
that's
that's social
I mean
I don't know
that's
what
a kind of a new thing, kind of cool.
social consciousness.
Yeah, social consciousness.
Yeah. So
So I want to know, what point did I meet you then? I don't know what you was back then when I used to meet you. This is
what year was that?
for people that don't know, I met Rick Agan many times
Many different versions of Rick too.
throughout our young
Many different
throughout,
versions.
throughout our youth.
And
And I don't
sober,
think- I don't
sometimes
think-
sober.
Yeah, and I don't think the majority of the time he remembered who I was
Yeah.
because it was a club.
Yeah.
Those
And-
are very, very foggy years.
And same here. But I'm good friends with Mark Calabana. So me and Mark used to do the Studebakers, the Ocean Club, the World Cafe days.
I didn't know you knew Marco.
Yeah, so every time
Oh.
we'll be there, I would see Rick walk in, and I go, and then Mark would go, "Hey Rick, what's up? You remember Kai?" He goes, "Oh yeah." But you're not looking for short Japanese short Japanese guys. You're looking for the chicks, and you're like, "Hey, what's up?"
Oh my
So,
gosh.
that's how I met Rick plenty times. But you could walk down long
Oh,
drugs. you wouldn't
right off the
recognize
bat,
me.
that's what you know
I think maybe back in those days the ego was kind of.
No, but we were all like that.
Kinda
Why
out of
would we
hand.
want to go down there and meet guys? Because not that you can remember my name. Oh, Kyle, I'm from Ocean Club. It's a given. You know?
Oh my
gosh.
gosh. Those were the days.
Yeah, those are fun days, man.
Blurry days.
Yeah.
But fun.
Yeah. But what days were that? Were you in TV,
What days were
or
those,
were you in, what were you doing back
That
then?
must have been like early 2000s, right? So yeah, I was pharmaceutical by that
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Pharmaceutical.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because TV time, I was in the station.
Yeah.
I couldn't go out on the weekends because I was anchoring on the weekends.
Oh, yeah.
So I couldn't walk in all boss.
Okay.
That
So
would-
then you had your sense of freedom after TV a little bit then.
Somewhat.
Yeah.
Somewhat. And then bounced around. I've been through a bunch of different companies in my career. So pharmaceuticals, imaging, MRIs. I worked for HMSA for a stint. What else?
But
Now,
always
now
in the, I
these
mean,
are-
always, it's
Yeah.
interesting because it's always in the medical field.
Yeah,
so-
medical. I mean, what?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, okay, so let me ask this question, because these all that you're saying are very good jobs. I mean, they're good paying jobs. What made you go like, I want to move again and pivot to another career? Was it just the grind of working so much? Or?
You
It's
know-
a side thing, actually. Right?
it just, after I left Pfizer because I wanted to get into a middle management position. And I looked around at the time when I was with Pfizer, all the managers there were like mid 40s. They're not moving anywhere. I'm not going to get promoted. I mean, very, in a sense, ego driven. I wanted to, I wanted to be a manager, but, it wasn't going to happen there. I got an opportunity with imaging. But, you know, a lot of times in these medical sales jobs, it's stable, but it's not stable. So as an example, you'll be in, a different silo, like what you sell. Okay. And so Lipitor, that's a good example. Lipitor, fantastic drug, multi-billion-dollar drug, goes off patent. Now they have generics. And I've seen this. Corporate company will just cut 200 reps. Boom. Gone. Wow. I've seen guys get told, wait by the phone.
Yeah.
Christmas Eve.
Oh.
We'll let you know.
I mean, you even could be like the kind of guy, the rep that sold Celebrex, and all of a sudden the next day.
I sold Celebrex.
Yeah, so what happened with that? What happened with that story when it got just pulled?
I don't know if Celebrex got pulled. It was Vioxx.
Oh, it was Vioxx.
Was the competitor.
Oh,
So
okay,
Vioxx, FDA saw some type of signaling that was causing deaths.
Yeah.
And then they just made the decision just to pull it. And so what does Merck do? They're going to let go.
Yeah.
Unless
Did you saying that they would let go people and not redeploy them into a different
they can
thing?
try, but they're kind of maximum. I mean, there's somebody with an MBA in a corner office deciding how these territories are made up, depending on how many sales and all that jazz.
Yeah.
If it's not there, they'll consolidate, they'll split. I mean, you're literally a number.
And then basically they consolidate, and then when a new drug comes out that's popular, they'll rehire back on, right?
Not necessarily.
It's a complete.
They may. I mean,
but it's a complete re-education anyway. So you could, you know, to for that particular drug, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's fun. Each company kind of operates differently. They have their own, the way we're going to do things.
Mm-hmm.
So I've seen, multiple companies in the way they operate, and it's secure, but it's not secure.
Okay.
Like I know guys that have been in the same company for 20 something years, and then majority of my friends that came into the industry at the same time. I mean, it's like, hey, you run into them in the parking lot. Hey, how's it going? You still with company X? Oh no, that was 3 companies ago.
And it's just jumping around from company to company. Then.
Well, it's not jumping. I mean, people will move for like various reasons. I mean, obviously, you want to get paid more. So, I've called on. I have great relationships with all the dermatologists. So there's a specific dermatology company that's all they sell. I'm going to go for that position. Because I've been with this company that we have one dermatology drug, whereas that company does all dermatology drugs.
Okay. So this was the last point in that career before Tako, or was there stuff in between?
No, I'm still doing pharmaceuticals.
Yeah, no, he's
You still do pharmaceuticals?
Yeah.
Okay. Because let's pivot to Tako now.
Okay.
I saw, a lot of our friends, their kids graduating high school, they play sports. And
Yes.
I've just been seeing.
I'm seeing it a lot.
I've seen this. This is a while back. I've been seeing incredible photography
Thank you.
of those kind of, sports
Yeah.
pictures, and I'm like, this is something different, unique. I've never seen this bore. And then I said, who does this? And then they go, Rick Agan.
Remember that guy that
The OC guy. And then I was like, no, but seriously, you had pure talent
Thanks.
for this and an eye for this from the beginning. And how did you hone that skill? Did you know you had it in you as a hobby before, and then you flip it into a career? How did that work?
So the Tako Eye origin story. So when I got married, I had kids. Kids started playing sports. So I was in TV. I had an affinity for visual stuff, pictures, video, whatever it may be. But then my kids had picture day at Waikahala. And I remember this vividly. It was 4 wallets and an 8x10 for $75 of one picture.
yeah.
Okay. And so I get the picture. It's the same picture I took in 1982. Nothing's changed. It was this. I was like, wow. Okay. And I remember I was trying to scan this picture in to make a Christmas card. It wasn't working. So I called the company. I was like, hey, can I get the digital file of my kid squinting? Oh, that's $75 for one digital file.
Yeah.
No, thank you. So from that point, I was really irritated. So I just started shooting pictures of my own kids, my own teams that I was shooting. Like, shoot some friends' teams. It wasn't really a thought that I could, make a business out of this.
You completely backed into this thing because I was there when you first started shooting them, and I'd see these pictures you were producing, and it was always it was some little league team or something that Rick's son was playing on, or his daughter was playing on, and then you'd see these amazing pictures of the kids looking like all hardcore, and it's dark, and the thing, and the ball looks like it's flying. You're going, holy shit, what is that?
But you know what was awesome? It looked better than an upper deck baseball card. You know what I mean? The photography was just so different.
But that's why, because I remember when you first started doing it, and we went to like Cinnamons or something, and you were doing it on the side as this thing that people were calling it. I was asking you at the time, I think I remember, because I was asking you, I was like, dude, what's up with the Tako Eye thing? You're like, holy shit, man. It's crazy. I can't believe it. People are calling like every weekend, man. All I'm doing is taking pictures of people. You know what I mean? Like you were trying to navigate, trying to do both things and it was difficult because you knew that the Tako Eye thing, if you did it right, could be something that would be a money making thing. But you also, and I'm sorry for speaking for you, but you were also trying to be conscientious about it because it was never a thing of you saying, I'll go make all this money taking pictures for these kids. It was, the pictures come out really nice, and then all of a sudden all these people are calling you, and you're like, okay, but I got this job I gotta go do, and if I can't do the job,
it wasn't a money making thing, because when I asked how much you charge, I was like, that's it? The brother should be charging way more for this kind of thing,
I have increased my rates over the years.
That's good.
At the same time, I'm not going to get completely out of hand because at the end of the day, I don't want to price anybody out. I never got into doing this to get rich or to even be my primary job. Like that was never. I've flirted with that idea for the last couple of years, but I'm just like, I call HMSA. How much is health insurance for a single individual?
Yes.
$1,000 a month. Ooh. So I just can't. It started off as a hobby, and it's grown over the last 8 years.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've kind of worked out my workflow and my systems where it's not that bad. I just literally don't have a life, which I'm work-life balance and da-da-da. I'm like, I don't really have like any outside hobbies.
But isn't photography a hobby that kind of turned into?
But see, and that's the other thing too. If I make this my job,
it's not gonna be fun.
Then I get kind of like, I gotta, even right now. So this past weekend was my last full weekend. Now, like this coming weekend, I've got 5 shoots out of 2 days, which is
that's crazy.
Very slow. But that's to be expected because I've seen it over the years. Once high school sports stop, May and June is relatively dead. But that's my
recharge.
Yeah.
So your focus was primarily on high school athletics, right? At that time.
It started off as youth because my kids.
But have you gone into collegiate stuff too recently or anything?
I've actually
NILs and all that kind of stuff.
Not NIL, but I've shot. I shot all of Chaminade Sports this past year.
Yeah, that's right.
Awesome.
There's college kids that I've shot in high school that they go to play for, St. Martin's or whatever, and they come back, bring their uniform, and I shoot them because their school photographer is bad. So,
Well, what was the thing that gave you the inspiration for the way that you shoot? Because the style that you
you have a signature look.
People are, like you were saying, right? Earlier, people are trying to imitate what you do, and they get kind of close, but there's still nothing quite like what you do. There just isn't. Right, I mean, I don't know what it is, what your eye, but like you make it dark in the studio, or I don't want you to give away secrets or anything. But it's just like, you know what I mean? Like the pictures that come out of what you do.
Yeah,
are like,
so it's just a confluence of influences. Walter Yost, very famous sports photographer. He's somebody I've watched a lot of his stuff. I just gravitate. The blackout thing is. I didn't invent that. I mean, it's been around. But I just like shooting that style because it puts all the focus on
the individual,
the athlete.
Yeah.
It's not, oh, what park they stay at? Oh, who's that in the background? Like, they used to just kill me. Like, I see stuff and it's like, there's guys walking in the background. It's distracting. But my style is, that's what you get.
Yeah. I kind of wanted to get into the part where what made your company unique too was adding graphics to it. And part of part of your company and the person that was adding graphics to was Kelly Kalka.
Correct.
Who I know. He was an artist before that was with the company called Basics, I think. Was it?
He also did stuff for Crazy Shirts.
And Crazy Shirts?
Yep.
And when I knew him, he never was into graphic design. But when I saw what he was doing for you, I called him up and I said, when did...
What the?
Yeah.
This guy was working with me at Hawaiian Style back in the day. I had no idea of his talent. And that really, working with him and you together really tightened your brand.
Yeah, so he reached out to me some years back. He was a friend of a friend, and he's like, hey, I do some graphic design, and, we can do baseball cards and stuff like that. And I'm just like, I don't think baseball cards is it. I mean, I'm thinking posters, senior night banners, like things like that. And we just started offering that, and, we really built a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And then, it's gotten to the point, like, he's technically Tako Central. So he's been shooting a lot as well. But I still will send him stuff. I've got maybe 3.5 other designers, because at certain points it's just chaos.
Yeah.
Like, I get, multiple teams, multiple individuals, and I can't, that's why I had to find others, because at a certain point I would look in Kelly's inbox and there's like 10 projects.
Yeah.
But people need this stuff.
Yeah.
So I told him, like, dude, I got to find some more guys. It's like, I'm not taking business away from you. I'm still going to send you stuff.
Even like the wedding photographers I know, because you think, like, when you shoot a wedding nowadays, like, you get the pictures like 2 months later.
Yeah.
And it's because the wedding photographers I talked to, they're like, yeah, my workflow is just like insane. And I can't,
It's like shooting and editing.
So, do you let these graphic designers outside of KLE kind of get creative with their graphics, or do you want them to stay on brand with what you guys created in the beginning?
Almost, I would say, aside from, we do like a senior night banner, which is generally kind of basic. It just has the kid, their name, their school. That's kind of our basic stuff. But when we go into like our solo posters, so we have the kid, like their name or their school, and we're putting fire or, whatever. Like, I ask the clients, what do you want on your posters? We're on tribal, or I remember castle paddling one year. Oh, can we be standing on the beach? Oh yeah, with the Kola Mountains in the background. Sure, with waterfalls. You got it, and that's what they got.
What?
So it's all added in.
All added in.
Yeah.
So everything's kind of a one-off.
And where did you learn all these skills? Was it YouTube?
So I don't Photoshop.
YouTube.
Okay.
I just take pictures.
You give Kelly the raw photos, for
Correct.
example.
Yep.
Then Kelly takes out the black
cuts
background.
them, yep.
And then adds whatever imagery and typography needed.
Correct.
What about the
Interesting.
photography side? Was that? I mean, I say YouTube because that's basically where everybody learns nowadays.
I have learned a lot of stuff from YouTube. I did take one night school course at Kaimuki Adult School that gave me a lot of like basic stuff. Some of it I actually still use today, but as far like like the lighting. I mean, I'll be honest. I'm not the most technically proficient photographer. Like, you asked me to explain the relationship between f-stop, ISO. I just, and especially with digital cameras, point and shoot. You make a mistake, shoot.
Yeah.
And so I've kind of dialed in my style and the way I shoot. And like, even, I have kids now that are seniors that I shot back in the day, and they're like, oh, uncle, they're showing me the picture. Like, he shot me like way before. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, ooh.
You can see the trends.
Yeah, I'm like,
really?
Oh my gosh, I used to charge people for that. That's terrible. Like, I'm like, I'm sorry, that was bad. Like, no, it was great. I'm like looking at that versus what I just shot. I'm like,
Do you think it was technology driven just as much as your eye just getting more.
Yeah. I mean, and just seeing like, what people don't realize, I literally edit every photo. Like, I don't send this out to Pakistan or India to edit. I edit everything. So that's given me a lot of practice and refining on, how I want images to look, how they want. And, with Lightroom, I mean, you can do so much.
Is Lightroom like Photoshop?
So it's the photography version. So you can't do text and graphics, but you can manipulate photos a lot.
Contrast,
texture, saturation, hue, white balance, black balance. I mean, so, like you see a lot of guys say, I'm selling my presets.
Yeah.
I have the, Nighthawk preset or what.
Yeah.
I'm just like, dude, just play with it and make your own.
Yeah.
That way it's yours. It's your style.
So you guys must have clip art of your own personal stuff that...
the
right?
graphic designers do.
Yeah.
They have a lot of stuff.
And original stuff that they created.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing.
What kind of camera are you using now?
I'm using a Canon R with a 51.2 lens. It's about as high.
Yeah.
I mean, it's about as high.
That question was for John, because John's the photo.
Yeah.
I shoot with an R as well.
Yeah.
R5 or R6?
Canon R.
What is the R?
Yeah. So and so
the R.
I've kind of waffled back and forth about like, should I upgrade to, the next, but for what I do,
Right.
It's fine.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially nowadays, like, we do a lot of photography and stuff for Hisessions and whatnot, and videography. And it's like, you take all this time to like make these photos and then everyone's posting it on their phone. So they're shrinking it down like to like this tiny like minute picture too, right? It's just like there's this graphic where it's like, recording studio, $100,000, and then you're mixing it down, you do all this, and it goes through all these processes, mastering and all this, and then it goes right into your Apple headphones, and it's like all of that.
Yeah.
Shrinks the
just
range
shrinking
real
it all
there.
down to
You're
like
like,
an MP3.
Yeah. The end user doesn't really get the full effect. Like,
Right.
I mean, for me, like when I shoot, if we go to a grandma's house, they've got photos on the refrigerator with the magnet.
Right.
I didn't want that. I wanted my stuff to be on the wall.
Like
Yeah,
canvas
yeah.
art.
That's what I always have in the back of my head. That's what I want. I don't want,
But
a wallet.
I mean, you did accomplish that because I see tons of those, especially like graduations and
Yeah.
stuff. They're holding up the picture of the kid, and it's like, there's
every year, every summer,
there's
I
rich
get
stuff.
graduation season. I get all the photos.
Nice.
So if I'm a client, you took a picture of me.
Yes.
What would I get in return? Or would I get a hard drive and then I would take it somewhere else to put it on canvas or whatever materials needed? If I want to make a t-shirt.
I send, despite the objections of a lot of my friends that are professional photographers, I just send the digital files, release all rights, do whatever you like.
So you don't provide the accessibility to the canvas art and stuff like that too?
I have a couple vendors that I refer people to.
Okay.
But I just didn't want to deal with that. Everybody's like, you should buy a color printer and print all these vinyl banners. You'd kill it. I'm like, yeah, but I've also have to sit there all night and print out the things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's not what I want to do.
Yeah.
So
Because you're doing this as a passion project.
Yeah,
You
I mean,
wanna
it's
do
not,
what you want to do. You don't, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, majority of my time I'm spending editing. So I'm sitting in. I literally like bought a zero gravity chair. Well, frame. I don't know what you want to call it, but it was.
I have a thought. Sorry. So there's been these AI editing softwares that have come out recently, and I've been using them, and they're pretty freaking amazing. Have you looked into those kind of things?
So I know Kelly has dabbled with that a little bit. I have not, simply because that, the way I'm set up, that's not my neck of the woods.
Yeah.
Right. That's the graphic designers. If they can figure it out, because.
But I mean, they will do what Lightroom does, but it'll do it for you. So like all the adjustments. There's all these presets, and actually, it's more on the Photoshop side. Like if you're doing portraits, all the removing of acne.
Yeah.
All that stuff, it's like, it's pretty amazing because it even does like clothes. So if the clothes is wrinkled, it'll unwrinkle the clothes, and it's very intuitive. Like,
does that scare you or make you more excited of that kind of accessibility?
I'm interested. I'm intrigued.
It scares the hell out of me.
I'm like, at the end of the day, AI can't press the button. If you're, it can just. I mean, I assume it's just like Lightroom. Like when I shoot, I'm like, all I'm concerned with is shadows and focus, because everything else I can fix in Lightroom. exposure levels, whatever. I don't care. Is it in focus or not? Because with that 1.2, like sometimes if I have the kids turned, if I focus on their hand instead of their eye, their hand's in focus and they're blurry.
Yeah.
That's happened a couple of times. Like I didn't see it on their eye. You're done. There's nothing I can do to bring that back. I don't think AI can do that.
Yeah.
They might be able to. I don't know.
Yet.
Pretty soon, right?
Yeah, I'm sure they can. Yeah, at some point it will be.
Yeah. So I'm intrigued. I want to see what it can do, but my workflow is just so fine-tuned right now.
You don't need it right now.
I don't need it.
No.
And his philosophy and how of what he's doing is a little different.
Yeah, for sure. I want to go about I want to ask you about how you came up with your name Tako Eye. As a fisherman, I know what that means. But
do most of your listeners know what Tako Eye means?
Yeah,
probably not. I wouldn't think
not
so.
really. So I wanted you to explain how you come up with that name.
Why don't you explain as a fisherman what Tako Eye means?
Okay.
Yeah.
It might not be his meaning though.
I'm not sure. We'll start off with your meaning and.
From what I know is when you it takes a while to learn how to spot taco, which is octopus in the water when you're going catching for octopus.
Yep.
So what they do is you develop this eye. You can develop this eye eventually to see the house that they make. You can spot it. And not everybody has that kind of skill. It takes years and years to develop that.
Certain people just have the Tako Eye.
Yeah.
The one uncle that goes every weekend, come back with 5-6 taco. No question. So back in the day, I was shooting and whatever. And then my good friend, Danny Matthews, shout out to Danny Matthews. So he was a diver. I showed him the pictures. He's like, oh, bro, you eat the Tako Eye? Oh. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, you can just see the shot, huh? Oh, you're right. I can kind of just see it. Like, I know what it should look like.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, that's a good name that's a good name. Let's stick with it.
Yeah, it's a great name.
So, catchy, something completely different. Because when I first started, I had this, ridiculous names, I don't know, Wilhelmina Photography and 2010 Sports. Didn't work. And then Tako Eye just kind of stuck, and I just kind of stuck with it, and here we are. So it's a recognizable brand, I guess. I don't know.
Oh yeah, for sure. People go, oh, it's Tako Eye stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's really cool stuff, man. As a photographer, because I've had people, they're like, hey, do you think you can do this? And I go, no. I mean, it doesn't look complicated, but it is complicated, especially because you're using Flash, right?
Yes.
Complicated in the sense that to make it look exactly like how you would do it, it's a lot of. I'm sure it was a lot of tweaking over the years.
It has been a lot of tweaking. Equipment has been a big part of it too. Because when I initially started, I was using Young Nuo knockoff flashes.
Flashes, yeah.
Amazon special tripods. My key. I think at one point I was using LED work lights from Home Depot.
Wow.
We were total basic baseline stuff. And then, over the years I've just, been able to buy some more stuff. And I'm kind of peaked out, I think, as far as there's a few things I look at I want to try and do, but I simply just don't have time to fiddle with it because it's just so busy. That's why this next 2 months coming up, there's a lot of things I want to look at and play with, like the Apple Vision goggles.
Oh yeah.
I want to see if I can maneuver that to fit in my workflow, because since I'm still at pharmaceutical, I end up traveling a lot. Yeah. So I remember I went to New Orleans this year, and I was on a plane. Brother had the Apple Vision goggles, and he was over there going in his chair.
Really? On the plane?
On the plane, I'm just like, wow, I could do it, because
you gotta get used to that. Watching people do that though, they look kind of nuts. That's why when they just pinching stuff.
I went and I demoed it at the store.
Yeah,
it is unbelievable. It is ridiculous.
I'm waiting for it to become less cumbersome.
Well,
I'm waiting for version 2.
Yeah, I just want to watch movies on it, because then you can make the screen as big as you want, right?
Yeah.
The movies, some of the, I don't know what they called it.
Porn?
But they shot it. They shot it a certain way that it's 3D. So they had the example video they had on that was wearing it. It was standing at a piano. Alicia Keys is right there singing.
Oh.
And it's like you can reach out and touch her. That's how
crazy.
realistic it was. I was just like,
Anybody else
wow.
sing this?
And then they had a lake with the Apple logo sitting in the middle of the lake, and a bear walks right in front of you, and it's like,
Ooh.
I mean, you can see the breath. It growls. You can feel it. Like it's just like, what is this? Or like the panorama photos.
You can see 360.
Like it's not this. You're like standing there, and it's holy. Like it is amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering how I can. And I've looked on YouTube like, how do guys fit this in a Lightroom? And I'm looking at it.
It's just not. It's gonna take a while. It's kind of like with Lightroom and Photoshop, right? When it first started, they keep adding features, and it's at a certain point, and then now it's like super good.
I only switched to Lightroom 2 years ago. I was using Aperture.
Oh, interesting.
Even after they weren't supporting it for like 4 years.
Yeah.
And then when I changed my camera system to the R, the files are CR3 files.
Yeah.
Aperture wouldn't read it.
Oh.
So I bought the camera, went and I
Raw files.
call them, I'm like, dude, how come I can't? Oh, that's why. Because they're not supporting it anymore. So.
I love Lightroom.
Yeah. Yeah, Lightroom, I edit fast.
But man, those I've been playing around with those AI things, and they're pretty, the thing about them right now though is it's crazy because I was doing research on AI software, right? And then there was one that was great in that it had just a bunch of presets. So like say they had a bunch of photographers, you could just say, I like the way that guy shoots, and it would edit your photos to look like that guy took it, right?
Oh boy.
And then there's another one that was more like, for pimples and,
Sure.
And then, so there were two separate ones, right? And then I'm like, I don't know which one I kind of want to try. So I tried the ones with just like take the blemishes off and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then like 3 weeks later, the one that took the blemishes off, they had features that was in the other, like they're all trying to like compete with each other, right? So they're all they're blending everything into one. Yeah. So that's where it is right now in the in the process.
No,
yeah.
I know for us guys in graphic design, we just wait until there's one. Like for
Yeah.
me, I don't want to master a program and 3 years later I gotta master a new one. Is that how it is in photography?
Well,
usually?
my guess is that all this AI stuff is going to start getting incorporated into Lightroom at some point. Adobe's going to find the best one, and they're just going to just pick it up and pop it right in there.
Everything always lines up with Adobe in the end. Right?
Usually, yeah. Right now.
Yeah.
And they went to subscription.
Hey, Rick,
Yeah,
I
they
want
went
to ask you. I want to ask you about sports stuff. So who are you following? Are you following more baseball guy? Are you still a football guy? MMA? What do you
Like what sports I'm following?
Yeah, like what are you into when you're not shooting and you're not pharmaceutical salesing and hanging out with your kids and doing all that stuff?
I really don't follow anything.
Really?
Like I don't have a favorite team. I don't know if this is like leftovers from KITV, where it's kind of ingrained. You got to be neutral. Even the home team, you can't. Can't be
Publicly root for them.
Yeah, you can't be going off, and I just like watching good games. No matter what sport, no matter what team, I just want to see a good game. I don't want to see a blowout. If there's an underdog, I want to see them compete. I want them to be in there. I just think there's like a lot of good sports stories that you can follow.
What's the last good game you saw?
Holy smokes! In person?
Oh, either one. In person, or you watched it on TV, or you're sitting with a bunch of friends?
I can't even remember.
The last good game that Kyle and I, Kyle experienced.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Max Holloway.
Oh yeah, the Holloway fight. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna find a hard one to top that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
That is true.
I thought that was funny that you took a picture of him right after I saw him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys were in the same place, right? Like
Within 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That guy could probably just never leave his house here without having to take a picture of somebody.
Yeah, but he's
super nice about it. But
they're so nice about it.
Yeah.
He and his wife are
Absolutely.
just fantastic people. They're just the nicest
Can you
people.
imagine everywhere you go, you have to take like 15 pictures with people?
You were like that for a while there.
Yeah. It was.
That's why you
Sorry, man.
No, but people didn't have cell phones back then.
That's
so
true.
It wasn't like, there's a lot of saying hi to people, but it wasn't like, can I take a picture? Can I take a picture? I'd be very self-conscious of the way I would left the house. But then again, Max Holloway is a fighter. So
He's just good dude. Like
Yeah.
we walked into the store, and I audibly said, "Oh, the chap is here." I just
Yeah.
But I just kind of went about my. I was buying something for my son for his birthday, and then, he was on the other side of the counter. I was just talking story with and then he's like, I don't know. He's like, "Hey, brother, you should buy that one." And I was buying him a necklace, but it's this big, warrior chain. I'm like, no, Max,
That might be a little too much.
Dude, I didn't get a $600,000 fight bonus, bro. No. So I just kind of left it alone, whatever. And then we were just here just banter, talk story. And then they're doing their thing. Then I bought my stuff, and I was about to leave, and I was like, Max, was like, "Oh yeah, bro, no worry." And take the picture, and he's just really cool.
Yeah.
And that's all I've ever seen of him. Usually like sometimes you see guys with their TV persona and your public persona.
Yeah.
What you see on TV, that's the same guy.
Yeah.
And
he's a great ambassador for the state.
Yep.
Oh, major, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
He's a good dude.
And his wife too. I mean, when we went to take the picture, I was like, "Hey, can I take a picture?" And his wife's putting down her stuff so she could. I'm like, no. You famous too. It's important I take a picture with you because people know you as much as they know your husband. So, it's cool.
Yeah.
All right, Rick. We have come to the part of this podcast where we're actually going to talk about music a little bit.
Cool.
So we have this question that we ask all of our guests.
Okay. I should have prepped for this.
You cannot because I don't.
It's hard to.
You just
It's
surprise
hard to,
them.
though.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Surprise.
Yeah.
Put you on the spot.
All right. If you were stranded on a desert island for all of eternity and could only bring 3 albums with you to listen to for the rest of time, what would those 3 albums be?
Holy smokes.
Get some inspiration up there if you need.
Man, after this weekend, probably would be a James Taylor album, huh?
Really?
Yeah.
Man, that was great.
He was so good, man.
It was very
It's just
good.
a fantastic show.
I'm going to say Thriller, Michael Jackson.
Very
That's a
good.
popular one.
Good show.
Anything by Bob Marley.
All right.
Okay. Who can give you that one?
And
We'll
You're
give you.
old enough
We'll
to
give
know
you
album.
Legend.
Did you like the movie? Did you see
I
the
didn't
movie
see
yet?
it. I don't even watch TV. I literally have not turned on my TV in 2 years.
Huh.
What?
I mean,
That's why he's successful.
True.
no, but I'm just saying, like, I think the way people are intaking their media and entertainment is changing right before our eyes.
Yeah.
Like, even you see, I feel like a lot of the better quote unquote movies are coming out on Netflix. They're all on streaming platforms like Shogun.
So you're
Yeah,
watching
Shogun
computer
was
more than
fantastic.
TV, is what you're saying.
I'm sorry?
You're watching computer more than TV.
Computer and phone.
Yeah.
That's where I'm
Me
getting.
too.
That's where I'm getting my entertainment, my little snippets or whatever.
Well, you
Yeah.
watch Shogun, right?
I've never even watched that because
Oh.
I don't have Netflix.
Oh no, if you got Hulu,
I literally
Hulu
don't have or Hulu. I don't
any
have
of those.
I don't have the only streaming platform I think I have is Disney Plus.
It's on there now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, maybe.
Yeah.
But I just
Yeah,
got that for Mandalorian.
Oh yeah.
I'm a
Of
Star
course.
Wars. I'm a Star Wars guy. So
Sorry to hear that.
Oh, you shouldn't have opened that up in front of Devon.
No. I'll be nice. We never get his third artist yet, so I'm waiting for the third artist, and then we can get into Star Wars.
and I don't know, something EDM.
Oh.
I don't know.
Oh.
I have very like
Dead Mouse, or
Steve Aoki.
Steve Aoki. There's damn it, what are those guys called? Brothers.
I don't know. It's just
Chemical Brothers.
okay. I'll go with that.
Dude, I watched them concerts online. It's crazy. It's like hundreds of thousands of people.
Yeah, and all they
Chemical
do is
Brothers.
stand at a board and go like this.
Yeah. Well, no, they
They put together
Sorry,
music,
tapping
right?
the-
they have big cabinets of computers and they're running and plugging stuff in. And
Oh.
It's
Oh,
kind of
it's
interesting.
not-
I
it's
think a
just
little
for
bit of it is
show.
theatrics.
It's
Yeah.
all-
It's all for
It's just a
show.
running soundtrack.
That is all for show. They just turn it on and just run around the stage and do shit. It's crazy.
All right.
Okay,
we-
wait.
We're running out of
Since
time.
I know, but we opened the Star Wars thing.
Well, I was going to say we can take that off camera since I
Why?
think
People want to know.
I think
you
about
two don't want to know, but
1.5% of our audience is going to want to stick around for the Star
Wait,
Wars.
wait. No, just
Okay,
real quick.
give him
Real
one.
quick.
Okay, all right.
Just okay. What Star Wars wise, do you like where they're taking the franchise
No.
in terms of making all the movies?
Thank you. You're a very
No,
smart man.
It's getting watered. Like Star Wars, the Star Wars that you and I grew up with good versus evil, Luke versus Darth, one story arc, one storyline.
Yeah.
And now we're branching off into all this different
Stuff. Yeah.
And, I guess from my standpoint, the only one that was really has hooked a lot of people was The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Maybe Rey's story a little bit, but now we've diverted off of that. So it's like we got to kind of stick with one story arc, one set of characters. But I know that's just the Disney MO. We're going to branch off in all these things, see what sticks.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm like,
Okay.
that's just my standpoint.
No, I'm right there with you.
You, Devon, and Billy V should just do a Star Wars podcast.
Star Trek.
No, but Bill's
I'm
a
not-
Star Trek guy.
Oh, he's a
Bill's
Star Trek.
Trek guy.
Okay.
I mean, he knows Star Wars, but
We got to
not
get
as much
Adam
as
from last week.
Oh yeah, Adam's a Star Wars.
He's a
Oh,
Star
was
Wars
he? Oh,
funny
no
man.
wonder you guys didn't say anything
Oh,
about that.
No, you will.
Did you
we'll
leave
talk
him?
about it? Yeah, he was.
Oh,
I
that's
missed that
right.
whole
Yeah.
process.
That's right. Yes, sir. He likes Star Wars.
Yeah, yes, he does.
He does.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Well, we'll
that's
bring
a
you
lie.
back for a Star Wars themed version of the podcast. It'll be Devon, Adam, you. I can sit here and
The thing is,
Chris.
though,
I'll stay home.
But we have to gauge the level of Star Wars-ness, because there's people who are like us,
Yeah.
who watch the originals,
Yeah.
watch some of like Mandalorian and stuff like that kind of hooked us. But some of the other stuff we went, well, bullshit,
Okay.
I don't want to watch
Well,
this.
It's just not.
And I mean, there's guys that read the books and you know.
Well,
I'm
let's
not
see how
starting
deep
on
Rick
that.
is. Rick, do you dress up like Devon dresses up?
I don't dress up.
No, but I do play a video game
Okay.
There you go.
All right.
Okay.
That's.
that I've played since COVID. That's how I got.
Oh.
I was never a gamer, and then over COVID, because we're stuck inside,
Yeah, me
I'm just
too.
like, oh, okay, well, here, what's this? Oh, Battlefront 2 Star. Oh, shoots.
Oh, Battlefront, yeah.
And it's funny. I've actually found a little community of, older gamers.
So you're not into the collectibles or anything like that?
No.
You know, they do have Star Wars characters.
There's
What you
levels
looking
to
at me
this.
for?
There's levels to
They have
this.
Star
Hey,
Wars
man,
characters on
I
Fortnite.
got
If
my
anybody wants to
lightsaber
play
on
Fortnite.
I know. You got
I'm
one
on
in this
Fortnite.
one lightsaber.
You're on Fortnite?
No. I'm totally Battlefront.
Oh.
That's all I play.
I was just saying they just released a Luke skin and a Han Solo skin. So if you do want to play,
Dude,
and you
Don't
can play.
get 'em
There's
trapped in your disease.
There's
yeah.
lightsabers. There's blasters. They just Chewbacca just came into the game. He has a blaster. It just happened on May
We've
3rd.
got my whole squad of
All right.
50-year-olds
Yeah, that's
clapping kids. Come on in.
John is
Meet us
like a
on
druggie trying to get other people.
No, dude, it's bad.
Just meet
All
us
right,
on the
all right.
Battlefront. We'll take
thanks,
your
Rick.
whole squad out.
Thank you again for coming in. We'd like to thank all of our listeners. We'll be back next week with another podcast. We've been going strong, man. Week after week, no breaks.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
It's been a good time.
Yeah.
Till
But
next
we
week.
are going to take a break
Take
soon.
care.
We'll see you later.
Goodbye.